Okay, great. Welcome back to session 4. A superpower for a leader is emotional intelligence. And there was a beautiful book by Daniel Goleman called Emotional Intelligence, and it revolutionized the corporate world in the 1990s. And Daniel Goleman was saying that really having high EQ is vital, okay, when it comes to leadership. That great leaders have generally high EQ rather than high IQ. And it's trainable, which is fabulous, because if it's trainable, you can do something every single day to increase your emotional intelligence. All right, that's brilliant. And if we look at the EQ model, self-awareness, self-management, okay, other awareness and other management. All right, it's beautiful, but it starts with self-awareness. How am I today? Take a deep breath with me and breathe it out. How am I feeling today? Today, I think I'm a 4 out of 10. I had a bit of conflict last night with someone. I don't feel entirely great today. Okay, so if I'm not feeling my best, maybe today I'm not going to have that difficult conversation with a colleague or a team member. Maybe I have to dismiss someone. Maybe today's not the day to do it. Maybe tomorrow when I'm feeling better, okay? There could be a difficult conversation coming up later and I don't feel good today. Let's postpone that conversation, because that conversation could just become completely blown out of proportion and pear-shaped. All right? So this is the key elements. These are the key elements of emotional intelligence. Then understanding how are my colleagues doing? How are they? Are they doing okay? And if they're not doing okay, what can I do to help them? All right? And if they are doing okay, then I can perhaps encourage them to be their best selves or to deliver better presentations, better projects. All right? So it's very, very important that we develop tools of checking in with our team. Even, how are you today? 1 out of 10. Or what's your personal weather report? Or what's your emoji for the day? Or maybe you want to check in if you were a famous actor or a movie character, who would you be today? And then we can start getting some insight into how people are actually feeling. But we do it in a fun way that's perhaps not too invasive, that makes them feel a little bit afraid. Why are they doing this now? Okay. As we grow our emotional intelligence, there's a part of the brain called the parietal region. It's at the top of the head that actually starts to grow. So neuroscience can actually go into the human brain and say, wow, this leader is empathetic. I can see it because they got a really good thickening in the parietal region of the brain. Okay, that's phenomenal, isn't it? So as an EQ leader, listening is a superpower skill. Listen to hear, but a lot of the time we are thinking of our response and we're not really listening to what that person is saying to us. Okay, so that is really vital. Good listening skills, and then perspective taking. All right, perspective taking, understanding that everybody sees the world differently. Okay, everybody sees things differently, and that is perspective taking. And then to maybe dive down a little bit deeper and realize what is underneath, what is under the surface. Okay, what is underneath this person's behavior? I know they're behaving badly, but why? Why? Okay, so that is also a radical act of perspective taking. Okay, we're going to go through a couple of points. The mindful attitudes of non-judgment, open-heartedness, and non-reactivity. I mean, those 3 things right there make brilliant leaders. To be non-reactive, to be non-judgmental, to be curious, right? That's non-judgmental. To be open-hearted, accepting of what's going on. And then we've spoken about non-reactivity, rather be response-able, okay? And a lot of the time as well, then emotional engagement. Now, if someone is in our space and they're not doing well, maybe they've gone through a divorce or they've gone through financial crisis or a health crisis, whatever, a lot of the time people say, oh, it could be worse. But if we're holding space for our colleagues, we could say, wow, that sounds heavy. Okay, acknowledging it, because it could be worse is quite dismissive. Another common mistake that we make is we say, oh, you'll be fine, don't worry about it. You know, oh, your dog died, you'll be fine. That's also dismissive, all right? It's far better to hold space by saying, I am here for you, okay? I am here. I know a lot of the time somebody crashed their car and they didn't have insurance, and it was like, oh, well, you can always buy another car, or you can always get another girlfriend or something. You know, you can always. Also dismissive. Instead, it's much better, very emotionally intelligent to say, tell me what happened, all right? Tell me what happened. I want to know what happened. Okay, sometimes people just need a compassionate ear. Often we say, oh, the same thing happened to my friend. That doesn't help, does it? How about, what did that make you feel? All right, what did that make you feel? What did that make you feel? Beautiful, isn't it? A lot of the time we may say to people, I know how you feel. We can never know how somebody else is feeling, even if we've gone through something similar. We can say, I can only imagine how you feel. That is way more emotionally intelligent thing to say. Another one that's quite dismissive, oh, you're handling this so much better than expected. I know we do all of these, don't we? But it's like, wow, I can't believe that these are actually dismissive. The best thing to say would be, you might not be okay or feeling great, but that's okay. It's okay to not be okay, all right? And these are extremely wonderful and supportive things to do, all right? So just going through a couple of those points, I'm going to kind of wrap up some of the key points of leaders at work. So number one, actively reduce the stigma of mental health. Number two, understand our role in managing team stress. Number three, to know what your team is going through. Four, developing check-in techniques, which we've covered. Put your oxygen mask on for self-care, all right? Make sure you create those spaces. Employ productivity tips. And then create beautiful safe spaces for divergent and also convergent thinking. And then the last one is to train in emotional intelligence, okay? So maybe we can do a final little exercise in training in emotional intelligence, all right? Come and join me for that little exercise now.